Hi, welcome to Why Indian Men Should Go Their Own Way. Rape, the crime of forcing somebody to have sex with you, especially using violence. When I say that word, what goes through your mind? Most people think of the dictionary definition. One instantly thinks of a man forcing himself on a woman and violating her. One pictures an abhorrent act so vile that they cringe at the thought of it. So when I tell you that 36,735 cases of rape were filed last year, it probably brings forth anger, frustration, and hate towards the perpetrators. I have a question to ask though. How many of you know what is legally considered rape in India? How many of you have seen IPC Section 375? For those of you who have seen it, good on you. For those of you that do not know, I will try my best and explain it to you. This is what the Act states. A man is said to commit rape if he penetrates his penis to any extent into the vagina, mouth, urethra, or anus of a woman, or making her to do so with him or any other person, or inserts to any extent any object or part of the body, not being the penis, into the vagina, the urethra, or anus of a woman, or makes her to do so with him or any other person, or manipulates any part of the body of a woman so as to cause penetration into the vagina, urethra, anus, or any of body of such woman, or makes her to do so with him or any other person, or applies his mouth to the vagina, anus, urethra of a woman, or makes her to do so with him or any other person under the circumstances falling under any of the following 7 descriptions. First, against her will. I think that explains itself. Secondly, without her consent. Now there are a few conditions under the consent part of this law, but the one I am going to explain is the consent given on the assumption of false promise to marry. The law states that when a man promises to marry a woman and they copulate or have sex and he refuses to marry her, whatever the reason, it can be considered as rape. That is utterly horrifying because more and more Indians have taken to the dating scene, and there will obviously be breakups. A bitter breakup is a rape accusation waiting to happen. Back to the descriptions. Thirdly, with her consent. When her consent has been obtained by putting her or any person in whom she is interested in fear of death or of hurt. I don't think I need to explain this to you. It seems pretty clear. Fourthly, with her consent, when the man knows that he is not her husband and that her consent is given because she believes that he is another man to whom she is or believes herself to be lawfully married. Now this law is in place to convict men who fake marriages in order to have sex. I know it seems a long way to go to have sex, but I guess some people are desperate. The other use of this law is to charge men who were previously married and take a second wife. To be honest, what they do is fucked up, but calling it rape seems a tad harsh. Fifthly, with her consent, when at the time of giving such consent by reason or unsoundness of mind or intoxication or the administration by him personally or through another of any stupefying or unwholesome substance, she is unable to understand the nature and consequences of that to which she gives consent. This one can sting. I will try and explain this with an example of how it can be misused. Your side of the story. You went to a party last night, got sloshed, and so did a girl you met there. She initiates, and you end up in bed together. You wake up the next day at home, feeling elated because you scored. There's a knock on your door, and you open it. Facing you are 2 cops who take you in for questioning because you have been accused of rape. Her side of the story. She gets up in the morning, realizes she had sex with you, and regrets it instantly. She then goes to the cops, crying, and files a report stating you raped her. Boom. You're in deep shit. Sixthly, with or without her consent, when she is under 18 years of age. This seems fine on the face of it, as sexual consent age in India is 18. But what causes me distress is that when a couple, both 17 years of age, have sex, the 17-year-old boy is considered a rapist according to the law. Now, more often than not, the family of the girl files for rape. In court, if it is established that they had sex, he will be convicted of rape, even if the girl initiated sex. Seventhly, when she is unable to communicate consent. That explains itself as well. Explanation 1. For the purpose of this section, vagina shall also include labia majora. Explanation 2. Consent means an unequivocal, voluntary agreement when the woman by words, gestures, or any form of verbal or non-verbal communication communicates willingness to participate in the specific sexual act. Well, the first problem I have with Section 375 is pretty obvious. It's the fact that only men can be perpetrators of rape, and they cannot be victims. This law fails to take into account that men can be raped too. Gender-neutral laws, people. Has anybody heard of the fucking word? I know a few of you are probably thinking if a man can even be raped. I say this because I get bewildered looks from people when I say that men can be raped. The first question is usually, doesn't the guy need to be turned on for his dick to be erect? No, it fucking does not. Ask any sensible doctor and they'll tell you the same. The best example I can give you is morning wood. Anyway, moving on. The rape statistics in India is disturbing. There were 21,397 cases in 2009, 22,172 cases in 2010, 24,206 in 2011, 24,923 in 2012, 33,707 in 2013, and 36,735 in 2014. Again, like the 498A Domestic Violence Act, we see an increasing trend. Now, out of the 17,649 cases tried in court in 2014, the conviction rate was just 28%. An investigation conducted by The Hindu shows the real truth behind rape statistics. It looked at 583 cases decided by the Delhi's district court. Out of the 583 cases, the accusers turned hostile, could not be found, stopped attending the trial, and also said that they had falsely filed the cases in 123 cases. Two of the complainants stated that they were coerced by community members to drop the charge, which is fucked up. A genuine rape case, if it was, should be allowed to go on. Quote from The Hindu. Of the 460 cases that were fully argued before the courts, the largest category dealt with cases involving or allegedly involving consenting couples. The majority of these, 174 out of these 189 cases, involved couples who seemed to have eloped, after which parents, usually of the girl, filed complaints of abduction and rape with the police. In 107 of these cases, the woman complainant deposed consistently before the police, doctors, magistrate, district judge, and under cross-examination that she had eloped and had sexual relations, and in most cases got married and sometimes had children with the accused because she was in love with him. In case after case among these 107, girls deposed about the suffering they faced at the hands of their parents. Beatings, confinement, threats, being forced to undergo medical examinations, being forced to undergo abortions. Even as they plead before the court, they be allowed to stay with their husbands. A large number involve intercaste and interreligious couples. Now, the reason these cases are before the court is because the girls in most of these cases are between the ages of 15 and 18. In 10 of these cases, the court agrees that the relationship was consensual and the couple got married, but convicts the boy anyway as the girl was a minor. End quote. This is where the age comes in. It does not consider if the guy was a minor or not. Moving on. 109 cases were under section of breach of promise to marry, which I have previously explained. The remaining 162 cases were the cases of rape in the true definition. Out of the 36,735 cases in 2014, I wonder how many would actually be categorized under the actual definition of rape if a study was conducted. The next is a juicy one. The Delhi Commission of Women revealed that 53% of rape cases filed between April 2013 and July 2014 were found false. 2,753 cases were filed, and out of those, 1,464 cases were found to be false. In many cases, the complainant turned hostile, and revenge emerged to be the most common reason for filing a false complaint. Big surprise, eh? This is what Shamina Shafiq, a member of the Delhi Commission of Women, had to say about it. Quote, "It is sad that people are misusing the laws to settle scores, while there are so many women who have nowhere to turn to in genuine cases. How will they gather the guts if this turns out to be the trend? A victim's family will also dissuade her from complaining." End quote. The complete disregard of the fact that those men who were accused of false cases had their lives and reputations ruined. And that does not play a part in reducing the number of false cases filed? A woman always is and always will be believed at face value when she cries rape. Has anybody heard of the fundamental rights? A man is considered innocent until proven guilty. Fucking anybody. Bloody hell, people, open your fucking eyes. Women lie. Take the case of the Uber driver who was accused of rape in April 2015. The woman cried rape and India believed it. He was acquitted in September, however, but not before losing face and his job. He stated that they did have a fight because she refused to pay the fare, which was rupees 500. That's less than $10 US. What the fuck is wrong with people? False rape cases. Who are the real victims? The rape victims who cannot come out and complain? Or the men whose lives are turned upside down? You decide. I wonder if the boy who cried wolf is an apt story here. I don't think so, because the boy lost his flock in the end. The women who make these false allegations, however, lose absolutely nothing. The media never discloses the name of the accusers, even after the case is found to be false, but the man's face is plastered all over the news, even before he's proven to be guilty. And people will look at him with disgust even though he was found to be innocent. If you have any comments, do not hesitate to leave them below. And if you're looking forward to more videos which makes you want to shoot yourself, click the damn subscribe button. Ciao.